In web to print, there are a lot of orders that are ready to go, things like business cards or items that are pick and pack. But there's also a lot of challenges in print and pre-press that happen way before an item has been finalized. Hi, I'm Steve with PageDNA, and today we're going to look at how PageDNA can help you with the design process that involves approvals and artwork way before a job is ready to go into a press. We're going to take a look today at a real-world application of one of our customers who's using our software to solve these types of challenges. This is a beer distributor with a very large operation, and their job is to market beer and other beverages. And to do that, they actually have a design team and a full print production department. One of the challenges that they have is that they have sales reps who are out in the field who are identifying opportunities for point of sale marketing. These sales reps are very good at identifying where these opportunities are, but they're not as good at the design process. They might have an idea, but they don't have a final artwork design. The good news is the production print team includes this design team who are a full service boutique style operation that help create and craft these messages, get them printed, and then critically, they need to actually show the suppliers, say Budweiser, exactly what was done and show the costs, not just the cost for the print, but the cost for the design time. Now, as you know, these processes can be very nonlinear, but let's walk through a day in the life of a sales rep who needs to get some custom items created. The first thing they do is they access a PageDNA storefront, where in addition to ordering their standard items, they have the ability to request custom designs. To help people narrow their choices, we actually provide the most standard options in this particular catalog, letting the rep choose from things we've done over and over. And they might include print, and they might also include ads and social media and other things that are outside the world of print, but are equally important because they are graphic communications messages. Once the rep chooses a product, let's say a small poster, they're brought into a configuration step where they're going to choose from the types of jobs that are available. They're going to enter the quantities, the sizes, and other specifications that they would like to do. Now, I'd like to draw your attention down here to this. This is going to be used by the design team, who are going to be later tracking their time and their money in 15-minute increments to track their use in creating designs and handling these approvals. This is extremely important because without tracking this time, you have a revenue leak. And in this particular customer's case, it was the chief of staff who identified that they needed a solution, not just to streamline the print procurement process, but to be able to show these end users, suppliers that they supply and distribute beer for, to show the suppliers exactly what was done, how much it cost for the print, the design, and even to show them what image was created and where it went. Very important. Once the rep has chosen their information, they're brought to another form to ask for additional specifications. Where is this going to be displayed? What is the account number? When do you need it by? And then the rep has the opportunity to opine as to what they're looking for. In this case, they're looking for a 2-for-1 shot special for Bailey's Irish Cream. And then they might upload a sketch off a cocktail napkin, perhaps in this case, or they may even have direct to print files that would bypass this whole process we're describing. In most cases, they don't. They just have an idea and they're going to pass it to the professionals in the design department. Now, there's another key thing here. When they submit this job, they're going to indicate one or more suppliers, up to 20, that are involved in this particular marketing piece. Imagine a poster that features many different wineries. We need to actually bill back a fraction of this job's cost in print to design to each of those suppliers. So this can involve many different suppliers on one marketing message. This allows them to choose one or more, and that'll be recorded in the reports, a very important step later. Now, once the design request has been made, it goes into a queue. This is the design queue, where there's jobs waiting for attention or already being handled by particular design teams. If you see here a blank on the design team, that means nobody has taken this job and taken ownership of it yet. Conversely, if you see here we have Patty from Cincinnati, she's already grabbed this, that rhymes, and she's already grabbed this job. So everyone knows, hands off, Patty's handling it. Now this interface is really cool. You can sort by any of these columns. You can sort by requester name, and you can even type in here for dynamic search capabilities. I just typed in Alex and there he is, or I can type in Patty and see here, or I can type in a type of job and I can see large format as I type this in. So we're going to go to the next step now and assume that I'm on the design team and I'd like to take ownership of this job for these cooler stickers. So as a design team member, I go in and actually take responsibility by claiming it. I would have my name in here. You don't see a Steve in here because I'm not on the team. But if I was, I could grab this and I could update the order details. This tells everybody else, hey, hands off, I've got it. Now, at this point, we go into a non-linear workflow with a bunch of different options depending on the scenario. Let me walk through a couple of them. One is the customer already is going to approve the design. We don't need to get an approval rather on the cost of the design time. So what the designer will do is actually edit the job, create the design, and edit the time you saw earlier, changing the cost of the job as they spend more time. Once they have the design ready and uploaded, the designer now needs to pass this baton back to the sales rep for their final approval or additional comments. And to do that, they use the powerful PageDNA approval system. In this case, they're actually going to forward this back to the rep at yourdomain.com, whoever it is, and say, please approve this before we go to production. Now, when the rep receives an email from PageDNA, they have several options themselves. They could forward it back again to the design team with changes that they either upload in a PDF that's annotated or write comments, or if they're ready to go, they just say approve this order and it moves into the PageDNA automated production workflow. So this allows a nonlinear process that can have a lot of back and forth, and at each step, the designer may choose to add additional design time because each of these iterations is costing critical time and money. So once this job is done, then the designer is out of the loop and they're back onto their next project. Now, let's say that the order was not appropriate or not approved. Or let's say that, for example, there's an accounts receivable problem where somebody's not paying their bill and they're not going to do design work for them for now. They have the option to come in here and say, denying the order. Sorry, we're not working for this client right now. Please contact accounts receivable, something like that. Now, there's another workflow. Perhaps the designer needs to get approval ahead of time for the time before they start the work. In that case, the designer can actually go and edit the time and write back and say, this is an estimate of what time is required. Please approve this before we start the work. So that allows us to, in some cases, get the end user customer to buy in and say, yes, we agree. We understand this will take an hour and a half design time. That's fine. So a lot of different workflows here. Now, what happens if the rep is out of office, on vacation, or their spam filter is overly aggressively filtering our messages? The good news is the PageDNA approval system includes a snooze bar. We call it the reminder system, but it works like a snooze bar on your clock. You hit the alarm, it'll go off again the next day or a couple of days later. What happens if this rep isn't responding at all and we've attempted to get a hold of them 3 or 4 times? Good news, PageDNA's approval system includes the ability to escalate if we fail to get attention from an approver after a certain number of attempts. For example, you might have the order forward to a head of customer service to take control of the order and make sure that everybody knows what's going on. So the approval system has these important tools to not only route the jobs to different teams, track time for the design, and ensure that everybody responds so that the order doesn't get lost in the process. In the end of all this, what's happening is our system is creating reports. There are a lot of different reports used by this particular customer, but a lot of them look similar to this. This is a list of the jobs that were completed with the PageDNA order number, the person who ordered it, that would be the rep, which team produced it, which division this was for, and it even has the information on what was done. You can see here table tents and all sorts of things. And then critically here, we have up to 20 different suppliers that will be billed back. Another column that's available is the final artwork URL that can be used to substantiate, here's the artwork we actually produced for this particular customer. This is all important to stop the revenue leak. And in many cases, it's the CFOs and the heads of staff that are implementing these solutions because they see the waste. So to summarize, PageDNA can handle not only your transactional easy items, but also can handle workflows that involve a lot of design and creative approval and help keep those orders moving into finalized jobs that ensure that you didn't lose money, that everybody knows what's going on, and that everybody's happy, especially the end user customers, which is where all of our print jobs start and end. So with that, I just want to thank you for your time looking at this. This has been Steve Enstead, CEO of PageDNA. We hope this has helped you learn a little bit about our product. Have a great day. Thank you.